Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got a special bottle on the channel. The reason why this is a special bottle is because I sent some emails out. Yes, me. I am not big enough to have companies reach out to me just yet. Hopefully that will happen in the future. However, the folks over at Barrell were the first to reach back out to me and send a bottle. So I am so thankful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. However, that will not sway my thoughts on this bottle. As you can see, this bottle is a little more than below the shoulder. We'll get into that in the review. Let's get it.
Bottle drop, bottle drop, bottle drop.
So first of all, let's address why the bottle is this far below the shoulder. When I came off of Dry January, the first episode I wanted to do was the Michter Single Barrel 10 year. This is the 2023. So thank you to Dave Vogelsang for giving me that sample. I really appreciate you. Thanks once again. But I noticed that the palate was not as sweet as the nose. But I didn't notice that anything was off. I just figured, hey, the palate didn't match up with the nose. The nose is very sweet, but the palate is not coming in as sweet as the nose. So it wasn't until, because I hadn't had anything. So that was my first drink. It was actually right there on camera. It wasn't until I tried to shoot something else and I was like, hold up, something's off. So that speaks volumes, because if this Michter's 2023 did as well with my palate being jacked up as it did on camera, then this thing is phenomenal. Now, I will say this, I had about this much left in it, and I had to reach out to Dave and tell Dave, man, that thing, I was wrong. The palate matched the nose because it was heavy caramel, heavy vanilla on the palate. It was very, very, very good. I still wouldn't pay some of those prices that some people pay for that bottle. Retail, I started thinking more along the lines like I said in the video. Probably if I could find one for retail. I know I probably won't, but anyway, let's get into the barrel bottle. So, this right here is so far below the shoulder because it took a little bit. It took a little bit for me to get to a point where I felt like my palate was deserving enough to do another video, because things were a little off, and I am still dealing with a little bit of the peppery notes that seem to be a little more pronounced than they used to be, but like I said, that is probably due to Dry January, but it could be just the fact that since I laid off so long, I'm not acclimated to the pepper the way I used to be. So I want to get into this barrel product. This is supposed to be there on the shelf every day. It's 5 years, yes, but it's got much older bourbon in it than they put on the front of the bottle. So let's get into it. So when you talk about the blend of components, it says Kentucky, 8 years, Indiana, 5, 6, and 9 years, Tennessee, 8 years, Maryland, 5 and 6 years. It has a mash bill of 73% corn, 23% rye, and 4% malted barley. The one thing that I have to say is Barrell has never been known to be a cheap product. Now, I'll say this, all of the barrels that I've got my hands on, I pretty much enjoy. The Dovetail, I didn't care for it when I first got it. I thought it was way too sweet, way too overfinished. However, once I started really getting into cigars and pairing it with cigars, that thing, yeah, it's on the money. I still can't drink it by itself. It's still a little too sweet for me to enjoy by itself. This is 29. 28, I actually gave out the last bit of in a sample that I had in the bottle. And I happily did so because I got so many great samples in return. But the 29 was great. The 28 was great. I heard the 26 was phenomenal. I think people love the 30 and 33. The 35, I have a sample Shout out to Ryan at work. I do have a sample of that thing that I will be giving you guys a review of. I didn't want to hold on to his bottle too long because he actually gave me that thing at the beginning of dry January. And I told him, look, I'll just pour myself a 2-ounce sample. And then I said I'll get into it and, you know, get it on the channel. But I've just been having so much good luck with people reaching out to me, getting samples, giving samples out, and getting new bottles, man, that it's been hard to get everything filmed. So let's get into the new barrel. The nose is very, very, very fruit forward. I pick up a little bit of wax, a little bit of, like, I would say like a medley of fruit. Like if you smell a fruit punch drink, that's kind of what the nose on this thing is like. A little bit of wax, a little bit of citrus. And that's pretty much it. Let's get into the palate. It's very fruit forward. Very fruit forward. There's a nice creaminess going on there. A little bit of orange peel. You do get some char in the back. A little bit of pepper and spice up front. I get the pepper more towards the mid and the back. Char in the back. A little bit of spice on the tip of the tongue. Let's go back into the nose one more time. Waxiness. Like a creamy vanilla. Citrus, almost like an orange creamsicle. But that medley of fruits kind of went away. Let's get back into the palate. It started to calm down a little bit. A lot more of those fruits pick up on the front of the tongue now. I didn't get them right away. It's still fruit forward. It's got a little bit of raisin now. It's got like a little bit of raisin on the front of the tongue. That char is still in the back. That spice that was on the front of the tongue, it wasn't pepper. It was spice on the front of the tongue and pepper more towards the back. That didn't hit me as much in the second sip. Now look, I know that it says 5 years on the front. You are getting older whiskey in here. It doesn't give the percentage breakdown, but you are getting older whiskey in here. So the oldest whiskey being 9 years old and the second oldest being 8. So you got 5, 6, 8, and 9. I do pick up a slight touch of oak. Nothing that's off-putting. It is not like necessarily an oak bomb. Now that I'm talking, I'm starting to pick up a little chocolate in the back. Let's go back into the palate one more time. Wow, the fruits came back. It's like, it does offer some complexity. You've got some fruitiness, the spiciness. The spiciness was on the first sip. Now I'm getting a bunch of honey on the front of the tongue. Little bit of pepper, dark chocolate on the back. Finishing with a little bit of a leather. So yeah, you do have some complexity. I won't say that it has the greatest mouthfeel. In my opinion, it's probably around a medium mouthfeel. It's nothing that's gonna make you say, wow, this thing is thick and it's oily. But hey, it's supposed to be on the shelf every day. So with this being on the shelf every day, and before I got sidetracked, I was about to say that Barrell has never been known to be a cheap company. All of their bottles that I've bought have been around that $89.99 mark. However, this is supposed to be on the shelf every day for $59.99. Let's get into the breakdown. Is it worth the chase? It's supposed to be on the shelf every day. If it's not in your market yet, I am not going to say it's worth the chase. If you can't find it, I am going to say do not pay $90, do not pay $100 for this bottle. If it is not in your market yet, it is a bottle that you can wait to have. Is it good? Yes, it does offer some great flavors. I like that fruit up front. I like that little bit of a waxy note. It did offer some pepper if you're into that. It had a little bit of spice up front, but it went away. But then it came back with a very, very, very heavy honey on the front of the tongue. And then those fruits, it was kind of like a fruit medley. It was almost like, I've said this before, like Skittles or like Lifesavers, like the different fruit Lifesavers, and you just throw them all in your mouth at the same time. So I did like that. Is it worth over retail? This is the part that I kind of struggle with, because it is $59.99 for a 100 proof product that does have some older whiskey in it, 8 and 9 years. So you've got 5, 6, 8, and 9. But you've got other products out there that come in a bit cheaper at 100 proof. I mean, for instance, one of my favorites, OF 100. That is a daily sipper. I get a nice like banana bread out of it. I get like this nice citrus, like orange citrus type of note out of it. It is a great daily sipper. The mouthfeel is really good on it. It's not thin. It's not like bottom shelf rock gut stuff. Then you got Knob Creek out there. So Knob Creek you can find for anywhere from $39 to $44, just depending on, you know, what it's going for in your market. Even, I mean, if you can get it at retail on a drop, even the 100 proof single barrel E.H. Taylor that I have behind me, I think for a few bucks more, you can get that if you can find it at a drop. Let me stress that, because I'll probably have somebody in the comments, oh, you can't find it. What else? I mean, you've just got, look, even some of the Barton stuff, the Barton, what is it? The Bottled and Bond. That's pretty good. That comes in cheaper. What else? You've got the Bardstown Origin series. I believe the Black Label Weeded is 100 proof, and I think that thing runs around $45-50. So you have to really be a fan of Barrell and really be interested in this bottle to spend that amount of money. Had it been a $45 bottle, I would have one every day, all day. I mean, that I do think it's that good. Would I give it to a new bourbon drinker? I think that this is good enough and calm enough to give to a new bourbon drinker. I don't think it would tear a new bourbon drinker's face off. Yes, it comes in at 100 proof. I don't think that there's anything offensive about this bottle. Even if it does have the Dickel juice in it, which it does say Tennessee on the back, they did a heck of a job blending out those mineral notes. So I think a new bourbon drinker would enjoy this. Will it always be on the bar? Like I said earlier, if it was a $45 bottle, I wouldn't have a problem always keeping this thing on the bar. But coming in at $60, man, you know my $60 monster, 1920. And of course, 1920 comes in 15 proof points higher, but it is just so rich in those brown sugar notes that I love. The caramel, that dark richness, the molasses, the banana bread notes. I mean, everything about that bottle to me. So spending $60 on this every time I want to go through a bottle is just, it's asking a bit much. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Till next time.